I'm Jason Ahrns. I'm at the Geophysical Institute and sort of work out at Poker Flat as well.
Sort of. You probably spend a lot of nights out there looking up at
I
this
spend
sky.
a lot of time out there, yeah.
Because you do, or you study the aurora.
Uh-huh.
So you must be up at night and then asleep during the day.
Yeah, night owl.
So you're here presenting some, you have an interesting idea of what's causing what you call super undulations?
Giant undulations.
Giant undulations in the aurora. I look up all the time, I see the beautiful aurora up there, I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. There's a lot going on up there.
Mm-hmm.
But you understand exactly what's working up there. Talk a little
Well,
bit
I try to.
What makes the aurora happen?
Okay, so this is sort of a type of aurora that most people don't generally see. It was not really well known until recently, but when you look at the aurora, during one of these events, you see this big, it looks like a wave feature, and you'll see it go like this going across the sky. And I originally had never heard of this before, and I started looking it up, and I found that when other researchers were talking about this, they were talking about it in terms of proton precipitation. So there's two types of aurora. You can have protons coming down from space, or you can have electrons coming down from space. And so they were generally talking about this in terms of protons because of some satellite results they had. But the events that I saw looked to me more like electrons. And so that's what I'm presenting here today, is my argument that yes, there could be protons, but don't dismiss the electrons as well. So the things that I'm seeing mainly are, first of all, we see these very narrow structures. Like you'll see a line and then some darkness of no aurora and then another one. It's only a couple of kilometers wide. And it's almost impossible to make that with protons because the protons are much heavier than electrons. So they make a wide circle as they spin down the field lines, and it just sort of smears all the structure out. The second bit of that is inside those little narrow areas, we see pulsating aurora, which is just, it goes bright, goes dim, bright, dim. And that's generally considered an electron aurora phenomenon. It's not really thought of as a proton phenomenon. And the last bit is we have an instrument that measures different wavelengths coming from the aurora. And we have a characteristic wavelength, characteristic kind of light that tells us it's protons. So we can see proton precipitation during these events, but it's not in the spot that the waves are happening. And it's fairly clearly that there's whatever is doing this is the protons are way down here. They're not up here.
That's where the electrons are.
Yeah.
People at UAF, we were just talking about that, they've been pioneering aurora research since 30s, the 40s at the GI. It's great that you can actually add to this knowledge as a part of the Geophysical Institute. So have you written a paper about this? Is it getting cited?
We're currently writing it up right now.
And so it's really going to add to this and people will be able to discuss this.
And I think this is going to be like a key, so people still don't know what causes these wave-like structures. And I think this is going to be a key piece of evidence to say, you know, think about the electrons and think about what could cause that on-off pulsation. That's going to be a key factor.
Now, when non-scientists look at the aurora, it's pretty. It's like, oh, it's green, or today it's purple, or it's yellow. It is. When you see it, do you just see equations?
No, it's still pretty. When you get a good one, I still go out there and just stand there in awe and stare at it.
Why UAF? Why do you choose to study there? You could be anywhere in the world.
There are a couple reasons, and one of them is I'd always wanted to see the aurora, and look at me now, I study the aurora. And then I'd always just kind of wanted to visit Alaska. This was my chance.
Thank you for taking some time to talk with me. I'm going to let you get back out there to give your groundbreaking science, if I could call it that.
All right, thanks for having me.
Or earth-breaking, or sky-breaking?
Space-breaking?
Space-breaking? Let's go with